We're joined today by Paul Stephen, Managing Director of GoldArc Resources, who are exploring for gold in the Leonora region of Western Australia. Paul, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
For a junior explorer, you've got an interesting agreement in place with BML Ventures, who are helping you unlock the value of your Leonora project. Can you talk to us about that relationship and why it's so important in unlocking value?
Look, it's been a really positive year for us with BML and the partnership, and it's a true partnership where they've come along and provided expertise. And in recent conversations, it's become really obvious that one of the major things they bring to the table is experience. They've been doing these third-party mining agreements with mills all over the goldfields for at least 7 or 8 years now. So we've got a really experienced partner that's not just coming in and commercially mining our smaller resources because of the gold price. These guys have been doing it at much lower gold price, so they know how to operate efficiently. And with those efficiencies, we get the advantage of being truly aligned in that their aim is to create the largest profit after cost, because they get 50% of that profit after cost. And it's recently sort of become obvious that what we're doing is we're going into production and becoming a producer and getting that re-rate in our share price that we'll get by being a producer, but we're not diluting shareholders at a company level. We're effectively taking a small part of our portfolio and diluting at an asset level. And I think it's a really unique deal, and we're really happy with the progress that they're making.
And importantly, it brings cash into the company.
Most importantly, the biggest challenge for juniors is they get caught in that horrible cycle of raising money for drilling, coming up with the results, good or bad, and then coming back to the market. We intentionally wanted to get out of that drill raise cycle, and I'm really pleased that 2026 is the year that we're going to do that.
Your recent drill intercepts, plus 28 metres at plus 2 grams per tonne at shallow depths, clearly exciting the market. Why are they so interesting and significant for the development of this project?
Look, where we started with this project is we had a very good resource that was drilled out at 40-metre spacings, and that gave us a good level of confidence. The unique approach that BML have taken, where we've come in and done grade control drilling over the first 30 metres, so 1.3 kilometres long, down to the depth of the first bench. And what it's done is given us not just a better confidence in what's there, but it's also highlighted that there are unknown high-grade zones very close to surface. I mean, we've had 10, 20-gram hits from a metre and big, thick intersections from 4 or 5 metres deep, meaning there's not going to be any or a very small overburden on this starter pit. That means we can go into cash flow early. That's going to bring the cash flows forward. And it's a great result from what was actually intended to be a de-risking exercise.
You've recently raised over $7 million, particularly to focus on drilling at Leonora North and targeting the S4 target. What is S4? Why is it so exciting, and why are you zeroing all this cash in that area?
So where we started from here is it's ingoing mining. We needed to find locations for key pieces of infrastructure like waste dumps and laydown areas. And what we discovered was that whilst there'd been work done in sort of 2019, 2020, specifically on the resources, there'd been very little work done on the surrounding area, which is very large. So we covered the entire area with soil starting in January 2026. We got some fantastic results back up to 50 grams per tonne in rock chips. S3 and S4 are particularly interesting because they're cross-cutting the structures. So they're soil anomalies that are not only at a different orientation, but they're at the same orientation of the King of the Hills mine, which is only 7 or 8 kilometres away. Huge, big resource, massive production profile, part of the Vault Minerals portfolio. And these things have never had a drill hole put into them. So, whilst we're certainly looking forward to getting into production, and I think that's going to happen very, very quickly now, we're equally excited about the opportunity to go out and actually do what we are set up to do as a company, which is explore for new discoveries.
Talk about the geochemical work that you've done on particularly the S4 anomaly. How does it compare to Mount Sterling and what you saw that led to the discovery of that mineralisation zone?
So S3 and S4 look different. So what's exciting about that is it's not just more of the same. There's a whole series of these deposits that are related to the faults that run up through this area from the King of the Hills mine And sort of every 2 or 3 kilometres, you've got a known deposit, not just on our ground, but on neighbouring ground. And it's pretty understandable. And certainly S6 and S7 look very similar to that. And that looks like what you would expect to find, and a good probability of parallel zones to Mount Sterling. S3 and S4 are in some way different. And, you know, different is great when you're going into an area where no one's looked there before. Could be nothing, could be something.
So you own 100% of this fault. You've tested 3Ks and a significant land holding ahead and a zone to test. What is the plan to unlock the knowledge of this zone?
So starting in early August, we'll conduct a drill program out there. We're in the process of final stages of planning, you know, which target first. We're blessed with 7 or 8 targets. We'd like to hit all of them. That's a fairly big program. As you said, we've raised some capital, we're fully funded. We've got cash coming in from the mining operations. You know, we now think that we've probably got at least 3 pits, 2 at our northern tenements and at least 1 or 2 to the south that are sort of coming down the pipeline. So we've got an exciting pipeline of a combination of have cash coming into the company so we don't need to come back to shareholders. That's just so important to remove that dilution. And very few juniors have that opportunity, and that's something we're super excited about. But at the same time, and in parallel, we want to keep our exploration going. We've got the great geologist Ziggy Lubinecki of Gold Road Discovery fame on board. He's got a ton of targets. He's a very hard man to hold back. For us, it's about getting the right drill rig on the deposit, so that whilst our partners are going mining, we can continue to be that successful explorer.
Exciting times ahead for GoldArc and its shareholders. Paul, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.